Imagine being born into comfort in the 13th century and thinking you won the lottery. You open your eyes in medieval France, not as a starving peasant, not as a nameless laborer, but as the child of a minor noble family. Life is not luxurious, but it is stable. There is food on the table, there are clean clothes. No one is forcing you into the fields before sunrise. Compared to most people around you, you are already ahead. Your family serves the king. That sounds impressive. In reality, it means loyalty, hierarchy, and constant reminders that someone else stands above you. Still, it is a doorway into the royal world. And when you turn 14, that doorway opens wider. An uncle with the right connections pulls a few strings. A position becomes available in the royal dining department. It sounds like prestige. It sounds like influence, maybe even a step toward power. But this is medieval court life. Titles can be misleading. You are not becoming a chef. You are not designing banquets. You are not climbing toward glory. You are training to become a food taster, which means every meal placed before the king will pass through you first. If there is poison in the bread, you die. If the wine is laced, you fall. And if nothing happens, you quietly live to taste again tomorrow. And that is when you learn the palace kitchen is not a kitchen at all. It is a battlefield disguised as a dining hall. You arrive expecting something simple. Taste the food, stay alive, go home. But the first week destroys that illusion. Feeding the king is a full operation involving dozens upon dozens of hands. Farmers, suppliers, cooks, assistants, guards, stewards. Every plate moves through layers of inspection before it even reaches you, and somehow you are still the final shield. Training begins immediately. You memorize rules before you ever taste a single bite. Never turn your back to the king. Always keep your hands visible. Swallow slowly. Wait. Observe. If someone collapses and suspicion falls on you, etiquette will not save your life. Then comes sensory training. You study the look of roasted meat, the scent of herbs, the texture of bread, the weight of wine in a cup. You are taught what normal feels like so you can detect what is wrong. Years pass like this. You are no longer just a young noble with connections. You are becoming a human alarm system, a quiet observer in a room full of smiles. And somewhere between memorizing flavors and watching faces, you realize something unsettling. In this palace, poison is not a possibility. It is an expectation. And then the first real lesson arrives. Not in a classroom, not during training, but on a quiet, rain-soaked evening when everyone thinks nothing will happen. The palace feels calm, routine, predictable, until the screaming starts. You rush toward the kitchen with the others. Two men are on the floor, convulsing, foaming at the mouth, their bodies twisting in ways no body should move. Just minutes earlier, they had been laughing, doing the same job you are preparing to inherit. They were the current food tasters, and whatever they swallowed was meant for the king. Guards storm in, doors slam shut. Servants are grabbed, questioned, searched. No one is allowed to leave. The atmosphere shifts instantly from order to suspicion. Every face becomes a potential traitor. You stand there watching the reality of your future. This is not theory anymore. This is not a training exercise. This is how promotions work in the Middle Ages. Not through merit, not through patience, through vacancy, and vacancy often arrives with a body on the floor. Before the night even ends, whispers begin. Replacements will be needed. The king must still eat tomorrow. The system cannot pause for grief. By dawn, you understand something clearly. In this world, survival is not rewarded. It is required. By the next evening, you are summoned. No ceremony of celebration, no congratulations. Just a quiet order to report to the kitchen. The air still carries the memory of what happened the night before. People speak softer. Eyes linger longer. No one feels safe, but dinner must continue. You and another trainee stand side by side. This is your induction, not weeks from now, not after the investigation ends, tonight. First comes the oath. You promise loyalty. You promise vigilance. You promise to protect the king with your life. The words feel heavy in your mouth because you now understand exactly what they mean. Then the test begins. A simple setup. Bread for you, wine for the other trainee. You do everything you were taught. You examine the crust, you smell it. You break it open and inspect the texture. Nothing unusual. You take a careful bite and wait. Across from you, your partner lifts his cup. As you chew, something catches your eye. Tiny bubbles rising in the wine. Subtle. Almost harmless looking, but wrong. Medieval wine does not fizz. You hesitate. He looks calm, confident, trained just like you. Surely he sees it too. You say nothing. Minutes later, he coughs. Then he chokes. Then blood spills from his mouth and he collapses. Silence. You noticed. And you did not speak. And you did not. The palace does not calm down after that night. If anything, it tightens. Interrogations stretch for days. Servants are questioned again and again. Kitchens are searched. Storage rooms inspected. Every cup, every knife, every barrel becomes suspicious. No one trusts anyone. But despite the fear, no confession comes. No clear culprit is dragged into the courtyard. Officially, the case goes cold. Unofficially, you cannot let it go. Because just before the chaos erupted, you noticed something. Not a dramatic gesture, not a whispered threat. Just a flicker across a servant girl's face. A tension around the mouth, a look that did not match the moment. 7 years of training taught you to watch people as closely as you watch plates. And your instincts rarely lie. You say nothing to the guards. You have no proof. Only memory. So one night when the corridors grow quiet, you move. You slip into her quarters like a thief. You search quickly, carefully, aware that being caught could destroy you. Then you find it. A small hidden container. The poison. Cold confirmation. You could report it, become a hero, or become the next suspect. Instead, you choose survival. You destroy it. No evidence, no more weapon, no more easy deaths, and no one ever knows how close the truth came to surfacing. A week later, the chaos fades just enough for routine to return. And that is when your real job begins. From now on, every royal meal follows the same ritual. The dish is presented to you first. You inspect it, smell it, touch it, taste it. Then you wait. Not seconds. Long enough for your body to betray you if something is wrong. Only after you remain standing does the head butler step forward to taste it as well. A second layer of protection. Then, and only then, is the plate carried to the king. It sounds systematic, controlled, safe. It is not. Every bite feels like a silent gamble. Your mind runs through possibilities while you chew. Is that spice stronger than usual? Is the bitterness natural? Is your throat tightening, or are you imagining it? You have already watched 2 men die within days. You have held the proof of an attempted murder in your hands. Now safety no longer means comfort. It means tension that never leaves your shoulders. Meals blur together. Breakfast can be fatal. Supper can end a life. You begin to understand something unsettling. This is what protection looks like in a royal court. Constant vigilance, constant risk, and a calm face no matter how loud your heartbeat becomes. At first, you resent the man you are protecting. It is difficult not to. You have seen bodies carried out of the kitchen so that he can continue eating in peace. You have watched servants tremble while he sits beneath banners and candlelight. From a distance, it feels unfair. Men die, the king dines. But time changes perspective. You begin to observe him the way you observe everything else. Not as a symbol, not as a title, but as a person. You notice the exhaustion in his posture after long councils, the way he studies letters before meals, the tension in his jaw when certain nobles enter the hall. He is not laughing through danger, he is navigating it. Poison is not just aimed at his plate, it is aimed at his rule, his authority, his survival in a world where alliances shift quickly and loyalty is fragile. Slowly, your anger fades. You realize he is also surrounded by risk. Every handshake could hide betrayal. Every invitation could conceal a trap. Your role begins to feel different. You are not just a shield for a throne. You are standing between chaos and a man trying to hold a kingdom together. And for the first time, the job feels larger than survival. Years pass, and somehow you are still standing. Other tasters come and go. Some last months, some last weeks. A few never make it through their first year. The palace whispers when another falls ill. The chairs are replaced. The routine continues. But you remain. Your senses grow sharper with time. You can detect a strange aftertaste before anyone else notices. You can read tension in a room before a single word is spoken. Servants learn not to gamble in your presence. Nobles understand that you are watching. Eventually, the king notices too. Not because you ask for attention, not because you boast, but because survival in this role is rare enough to become remarkable. You are rewarded. Land is granted in your name. A marriage is arranged with a respectable noblewoman. You have children. A household of your own. For the first time, your life feels stable rather than suspended over a blade. It almost feels like you beat the system, but increased trust brings new dangers. Quiet offers begin to appear. Money, promises, subtle threats. All you have to do, they say, is miss one detail. You refuse every time, and report them. Because now you are not just protecting a king, you are protecting everything you built. Then one morning, nothing feels unusual. The routine unfolds exactly as it always has. The food is inspected. You taste carefully. You wait. No bitterness. No strange heat in your throat. No dizziness. The butler follows. The plate moves on to the king. Another safe meal. You walk back toward your quarters thinking about ordinary things. Accounts to review. Letters from your steward. Perhaps dinner with your family later that evening. For once, your mind is not on poison. And that is when it happens. A tightness grips your chest. Sudden, sharp. Your breath shortens. The corridor tilts slightly as if the stone beneath your feet has shifted. You steady yourself against the wall, waiting for the sensation to pass. It does not. You know the signs of poison. You have studied them for years. This feels different. No burning throat, no metallic taste, no creeping numbness. This is your own body turning against you. You try to call for help, but your voice fails. Your vision blurs. The floor rises quickly to meet you. After years of surviving calculated threats, it is not conspiracy that ends you. It is your heart. Quiet, sudden, unplanned. When they find you, panic spreads through the palace once again. Another food taster is dead. The king assumes the worst. Investigations restart. Servants are questioned. Kitchens are searched. Old suspicions resurface. For a moment, it feels like history is repeating itself. But this time, there is nothing to uncover. No hidden vial, no tainted wine, no trembling servant waiting to confess. Only a body that finally gave out. You spent years dodging calculated death. You survived plots, bribes, and silent wars fought over dinner tables. And in the end, what took you was something no guard could intercept and no training could prevent. Compared to most who held your position, you were fortunate. You built a life, you earned land, you had a family. You were remembered not as a victim or a traitor, but as the man who endured. In a world where survival was never guaranteed, that was its own kind of victory. History often remembers kings and battles, but sometimes the quiet figures standing between danger and power carry the heavier burden. If this story surprised you, consider what other overlooked roles shaped the past. And if you enjoy exploring the human side of history, stay with the channel. There are many more lives worth stepping into.